Hi, I'm Shannon with Windblown Ideas, and I want to show you how I color this paper peony with PanPastel and Colorless Blender. I'm using permanent red extra dark PanPastel and their Colorless Blender, and this will bring this really dark color down to this nice, rich, pinky salmon color that I love. I use the Sofft sponge round bar to apply color on this size of a flower. I pick up a tiny bit of color with the sponge and probably a little more blender than color. Keep the sponge flat as you apply the color. I will apply color to both sides of all of my petals because when you shape up this flower, you can see both sides of the petals depending on what angle you're looking from. I also don't take color all the way to the edge. Leaving that little strip of the lighter color leaves a really nice highlight in the flower. In order to get a nice blurred edge on the outside of the petal, point the end of the sponge that has color on it toward the center. If you point it toward the outside of the petal, it will leave a much more distinct line rather than that nice blurred edge. When I add color to the center strip, I just add a little bit to the tips. I don't bother using any of the Colorless Blender because it's going on such a small bit of paper. A surprising feature of PanPastel is that it is erasable. Even though it's highly pigmented and permanent, you can erase it on your paper if it gets in the wrong place. When it comes to PanPastel, a little bit goes a long way. I think you'll find it takes far less than you expect, so I highly recommend experimenting on some scrap paper to get a feel for how little it takes. And if you find you have too much on your sponge, you can just wipe it off onto a paper towel. And I don't have to reload the sponge with each petal. It actually starts to get too dark when I do that. So I recommend playing around with different amounts of the Colorless Blender, and you'll see that you can get a lot of different shades just from one color. And I do not seal PanPastel when I use it. I've used it for years and it does not come off. Maybe if I applied a much heavier application, I would need to seal it, but as I use it, it does not move.